And now we have Dipanwita Sen, Assistant Professor of English at Best University from West Bengal, a special mention from the land of Sri Aurobindo. Graduate degree in English, Literature, and then I would like to present her views. See, these are some things reflecting what is in the society currently. We need to see the past, the present and future, all the three together. So let us encourage ourselves and be with them together. How can we make it better? That's the whole idea. Let us please.
Good afternoon, everyone present here. Today I shall be speaking about how widow remarriage has been represented in 3 works. 2 of them are books. They are the first 2 parts of a trilogy, Pratham Pratishruti and Subarnalata. And the other work of art is based on Subarnalata. It is the TV series of the same name that aired on Zee Bangla from 2010 to 2012. I would like to begin by saying that, like in many books of the time, the plight of the typical Bengali middle-class widow has also been represented in these books. That is to say, the widows were at the bottom of the hierarchy. So you had the men first, then you had the married women, then you had the widows with children, then you had younger childless widows. These women were at the bottom of the hierarchy, and their lives were governed by Tithi Nakshatra. That is to say, what they could eat on a particular day, whether they were meant to fast, whether they could drink water. These were determined by the position of the planets, and they were threatened by the prospect of Anant Narak or eternal hell if they were to deviate in the slightest from any of these. Many widows found this life stifling. They longed for freedom, they longed for a sense of normalcy, and this would often result in suicide or the widows abandoning their parental or their in-laws' homes to run away with a young man who had promised them marriage. The young man, in very rare cases, the young man would live with them, but unfortunately, in most cases, these widows would be sold off or would be deserted, leaving them to fend for themselves. The plight of these widows moved the Bengali reformers of the time, and you have Pandit Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, who was the pioneer of widow remarriage. It was his campaign for widow remarriage that led to the passage of the Hindu Widow Remarriage Act on July 16, 1856, and the bill was enacted on 26 July 1856. Vidyasagar personally organized Kolkata's first widow remarriage, and he would later go on to marry off several other widows. He would personally look for grooms, he would organize the ceremony, and he would give the young women everything they needed to set up a new household, including utensils and ornaments. My paper deals with the condition of widows in the immediate aftermath of the passage of the Hindu Widow Remarriage Act. Of the 2 characters that I will be speaking, one is Shankari of Pratham Pratishruti, who is the heroine's sister-in-law, a distant sister-in-law. She gets tired of the oppressive life in her in-laws' home, in Shottavati's paternal home that is, and she runs away with a young man she had once loved. Many years later, Shottavati moves to Kolkata and she comes across Shankari. Shankari has been left with a young daughter, and the man she had run away with had deserted her. Shottavati's father, Ramkali, is a very liberal man, and Shottavati has had enjoyed many opportunities, such as fewer restrictions and access to education that young women of her time could not dream of. Shottavati takes Shankari and her daughter Suhasini under her wing. She takes them home with her. She gets the daughter admitted in a school. She grooms the daughter personally to rid her of all the ill effects that she has suffered living with her mother in a completely different environment, in a different kind of household. And the young girl, Suhasini, later grows up to be a school teacher in Bethune School, Kolkata's first school for women. Shottavati's daughter Subarnalata, who has inherited her mother's fiery feminist spirit, is unfortunate in many ways herself. Her father secretly marries her off into a very traditional, very conservative household when she is 9 years old, but her mother acts as a guiding light throughout her life. When Shubhanulata herself is a mother, she has children, she's an established woman of the household. Her niece by marriage, Mallika, that is her brother-in-law's daughter, she is widowed and she comes home. She's obviously traumatized from the way she has been treated by her in-laws after her husband passed away. She's obsessed with cleanliness, she's quarrelsome, she's always upset, and her condition is aggravated by the fact that she has to wear a white sari and she sees her younger sisters dressing up in ornaments in red saris and getting married in front of her. Shubhanulata, who can read and write herself, she sends a letter to an idealistic young school teacher, Akhilesh, who had advertised asking for a widow. He wanted to marry a widow for idealistic reasons. She answers the advertisement. The young man agrees to marry Mallika, and in the face of opposition from every single person in her household, including her husband and her traditional mother-in-law, she marries Mallika off to Akhilesh. Akhilesh and Mallika go on to have a very happy married life, and despite the fact that it is years and years before Mallika's own family accepts her, Shubhanulata acts as a mother figure. Mallika is always welcome to her household, and even for events like Jamai Shoshti, where the groom, the girl's husband, is welcome to the in-laws' families and generally treated to good food and allowed to live with his in-laws for some time, it is Shubhanulata who performs these rituals in place of Mallika's mother. What I would like to draw attention to is that Mallika's widow remarriage is a part of the series. It is a part of the series Shubhanulata and not a part of the actual book that the series is based on. We all know that films that are based on works of literature often tend to deviate from the source material. The question remains why, and here the question remains why such a significant deviation, given the fact that the series has always remained very closely aligned with the book. I would say that the reason is that Prothom Pratishruti, Shubhanulata and Bokul Kotha, these three books of the trilogy, they not only chronicle the struggles of 3 generations of women, but they also chronicle the changes taking place in typical Bengali households and Bengali society over a period of 100 years of time. Part of these changes would be the advent of female education, the openness of parents to let women marry grooms of their own choice. But part of this is also the struggle to get women who have been written off, that is, whose parents believe that these women are no longer their responsibility, adjusted and ingrained into society once again. Shubhanulata herself does not have a very happy married life because her progressive ideology is perpetually in conflict with that of her traditional husband and her extremely conservative mother-in-law. But she goes on to say that all the struggles that she has faced as a wife, as a mother, have been justified by the fact that she has been able to secure a new life for Mallika. And her struggles have been justified, her struggles have been validated by the fact that she has been able to bring a smile to Mallika's face. In conclusion, I would like to say that the pioneers of the Bengali Renaissance, or the pioneers that we look up to today, they were able to see beyond their immediate environment, their immediate surroundings, and raise their voices for the vulnerable, for issues that needed to be addressed. There are still many such issues in the world that need to be addressed, and I hope we can all raise our voices for the same, especially in our own households. Thank you.